Yep, there he is. Nice to meet everybody. Good to see you. Hello, nice buddy.
Welcome to your Des Moines office.
Thank you, thank you. Welcome. Good to have everybody here.
Yes. You've been working hard.
Hey, good to see you. Glad you're here. Good to see everybody. I guess we'll go in.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Hi, I'm Joe C. Hewson. I'm the Iowa State Coordinator. We're honored and delighted to have you here. A quick word of thanks to so many of you, our dedicated volunteers, our volunteer staff, our campaign staff. We have Lou Moore, our national director here. We have Dennis Ferrara here. Where's Jeff Jarrett, who's done so much work? Jesse Benton. We have a whole crew of wonderful, dedicated volunteers that have done so much here in Iowa. We're so grateful, and we're so optimistic. We're opening an office 2 days before the straw poll, so we're feeling very, very positive about the straw poll and about our work up to the caucuses. It's been a very full week having Dr. Paul here, and so without further ado, I'd like to turn this over to Dr. Paul and have him continue to share with us his vital message of prosperity, freedom, and peace. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and I deeply appreciate you coming out. As I've told supporters so many times, when they thank me for doing what I'm doing, I thank you because I get my inspiration from you. So it's a mutual affection, I believe. But I would like to introduce my wife, Carol, and she's here with me today. Here quite a few days, and we'll be here for a few more. We're thinking about staying through till Saturday. But it is amazing. I've just been so impressed with the campaign. I've been impressed that our message is powerful enough that it's still influencing a lot of people on a daily basis. And I've mentioned it many times that the young people who have flocked to our campaign over the internet is quite impressive. And I keep mentioning how young people will bring their parents to my office, and I sort of say, why are you here? Or looking at the parents, I said, we're here because of the children, because they told me about you and introduced the campaign to them through the internet. But last night we had an interesting event, and somebody would have to remind me exactly where I was at that moment. But a gentleman came in and never heard much about the campaign, but he arrived at our event. And he said, and he knew this little story about young people and children talking and getting their parents influenced. Well, this wasn't exactly a child, but he was traveling around. I think he was just visiting. He wasn't from Iowa. And he was in town. We got an email from his son, who was young 20s, sent an email to his dad and said, Ron Paul is going to be over there. And the son was a fan, but the father came over and told me that story. And the only reason, he was there was because of his son. But afterwards I talked to him. I said, well, did we do any good? I said, are you converted? He said, absolutely. Today over at the fair we had the chance to just sort of talk to the passerbys on the sidewalk, and I thought it was satisfactory. It's not as easy just to talk to people and trying to get their attention as they're walking by. But one lady there, she looked like she was in her 50s, but she was almost 70. I think she told us she was 69. And she came over and she says, and she wanted to talk to me afterwards. And it was a 10-minute talk. And she came by and she says, I was just passing by and you caught my attention, and I had to stop and listen. And she came over and she says, let me tell you, I've been a Democrat all my life. She says, but your message is what I want. And I said, well, would you consider coming and voting in the straw vote? And she says, absolutely yes. So they keep telling us, that we're so low in the polls that we won't have a showing, but maybe they're calling a dwindling Republican base that doesn't even register on the poll right now, and maybe a few of you have not been polled yet, by the professionals. So, but the truth is I don't know. I don't think our staff knows, and I don't think anybody knows exactly what's going to happen on Saturday. I don't think it's an end point for us. It may be a beginning of a point. It may be a tremendous boost for all we know. But our job is to spread a message and to make sure that we get our country on the right track. And if it's to be heard and we are to have the influence, this is going to continue. Others claim that if they don't get out of the lower tier and the upper tier, they're going to quit. And those in the upper tier, if they get bumped to the lower tier, they're going to quit. And that right now is not a relevant question for us because what we look at are our statistics to find out if the message is getting out and if our numbers are growing. And let me tell you, the numbers are growing faster than I ever dreamed they could. I think what was the statistic somebody gave me today on YouTube subscribers? It went over 25,000 today. And I don't think anybody else is even close to that on either side. And yesterday was our biggest fundraising day since we've been doing this. It was about $75,000 in one day.
All right.
I've been in the business of politics off and on for a long time, and raising money is always the toughest thing. And it requires a lot of phone calling, a lot of letter writing, a lot of expense. And in this campaign, it's been so spontaneous. So there are a lot of people out there who are very receptive to our message, and there's a lot of people who are ripe and looking for something. And I had told supporters so many times that I was reluctant and had been and just couldn't believe that the country would be ready, always thinking that my role in the last 30 years was always to nudge over and bring a message and try to condition people for the time that we will have a significant event. And right now it looks quite possible that we could be moving toward a significant event. That message may come on Saturday, it may not, but we do know, and I know we share the views of limited government and the Constitution. And most people now, especially the young people that are joining us, realize the difficulties we're having and the difficulties we have placed on their shoulders, whether you're looking at the war that we're required to continue with or find out a way to end it, the burden of the spending and the deficits, the entitlements, a weak economy, a weak currency. And yet, the answers aren't that difficult. The answers are rather clear. If you find out that we got in our trouble by merely disobeying the Constitution, ignoring the rule of law, and not following those precepts that made America great, why not just go back to those principles? It's no more complicated than that. And in most cases, we can do that without any radical change. The media keeps claiming that I'm the radical. Right? The radicals are in charge. We need to get rid of them. We need this radical idea.
And I got off the